My mom stole my $45,000 college fund for my sister's house, so I slept in my car while they celebrated in a mansion. I thought I had lost everything, but then I found the one secret my mother forgot to bury. I stood in the driveway of my childhood home, holding my acceptance letter to the University of Chicago. This was the moment. 12 years of perfect grades, thousands of hours of studying, and $45,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account. The legacy my late grandfather had left specifically for my education. I walked into the kitchen, my face beaming. My mom was sitting at the table, clutching a glass of wine. My older sister, Brianna, was next to her, surrounded by glossy brochures for luxury kitchen appliances. "Mom, it's official," I said, my voice shaking with excitement. "I just need to wire the first semester's tuition by Friday." The air in the room suddenly turned ice cold. My mother didn't look up. She didn't congratulate me. She didn't even smile. She just stared at a brochure for a marble countertop until she finally let out a long, heavy sigh. "Maya, we need to talk," she said. Her tone wasn't warm. It was defensive. "The college fund," I said, a pit forming in my stomach. "The money Grandpa left me. It's in the joint account, right? I just need the login." Mom looked at Brianna, then back at me. "Brianna found the most beautiful property in the suburbs," Mom said, her voice growing unnervingly steady. "But the seller had a higher offer. She was going to lose the house, Maya, her dream home." I felt the blood drain from my face. "What does that have to do with my tuition?" I whispered. "I moved the money," Mom said. "It was the only way she could close the deal. It's for the family. You're smart, Maya. You can just take out loans. You're young. You have time to pay them back." I couldn't breathe. $45,000. The money my grandfather had worked 50 years in a factory to save. The money he had looked me in the eye and called my ticket to a better life. Gone. Given to the sister who had never held a job for more than 3 months to buy a house I wasn't even invited to live in. "You stole my future," I said. My mother's face hardened instantly. "Don't you use that tone with me. I am your mother. I am the head of this household, and I decided what was best for our family's stability. Now, stop being so incredibly selfish." I looked at Brianna. She had the audacity to roll her eyes while stroking a sample of velvet wallpaper. "Ugh, Maya, don't be such a drama queen," Brianna snapped. "I'm literally giving you a place to visit on holidays. It's a win for everyone. God, you're so entitled." I realized then that I wasn't a daughter to them. I was an asset, and the asset was officially being liquidated. I didn't argue. I didn't scream. I walked upstairs, packed my life into 3 duffel bags, and realized I had exactly $112 in my personal checking account. I couldn't afford a hotel. I couldn't afford an apartment. So I walked out the front door and climbed into the backseat of my 2014 hatchback. I thought that was the lowest I could go, sleeping in a dark parking lot while my sister slept in a master suite I had inadvertently paid for. But I was wrong, because what I discovered in my grandfather's old briefcase changed the entire game. I was digging through my bags, looking for an extra blanket, when I found a hidden compartment in the lining of the case. Inside was a letter and a set of bank statements that my mother clearly hadn't seen. I read the words and my heart stopped. Grandpa hadn't just left me $45,000. He had left me the entire title to the family home, the house my mother was currently living in, the house she was using as leverage to fund Brianna's lifestyle. The letter was dated 2 weeks before he passed. "Maya, your mother has always been reckless. If she tries to take what is yours, use this. The house belongs to you the moment you turn 18. Don't let them push you around." I sat in the dark of my car, the cold glass pressing against my shoulder, and I felt a slow, wicked smile spread across my face. I wasn't just a student anymore. I was a landlord, and it was time for my tenants to receive an eviction notice. I waited until 600 a.m. I drove back to the house, parked right in the middle of the driveway, and walked through the front door. My mother was in the kitchen, making coffee like nothing had happened. "Oh, you're back," she said, her voice dripping with condescension. "I figured you'd come to your senses. Go ahead and start the dishes." I didn't move. I placed the deed on the counter. "The dishes can wait, Mom," I said, my voice calm and razor-sharp. "But the movers can't." "What is this?" she hissed, grabbing the paper. As she read the legal description, as she saw her father's signature, the color drained from her face until she was as white as the marble countertops she so badly wanted. This isn't real," she stammered. "It's very real," I said. "And according to my lawyer, who I've already emailed, you've been living here illegally for the last 6 months." I leaned in close. "You took my $45,000 for Brianna's house? Fine. Consider that her inheritance. But this house, this is mine, and I'm selling it today." You can't, Brianna screamed, running down the stairs in her silk robe. Where is Mom supposed to live? I looked at her. I heard there's a lovely craftsman home in the suburbs with plenty of room, I said. Since I paid for the down payment, I'm sure you won't mind your mother sleeping on your couch. But that wasn't the real secret. I thought the house was my only leverage. But as I started clearing out the attic, I found a ledger hidden behind a loose brick in the chimney. My grandfather wasn't just a factory worker. He was a meticulous record keeper, and he had documented every single cent my mother had embezzled from the family trust over the last decade. The total wasn't $45,000. It was nearly $300,000. Money that was supposed to go to the local children's hospital in his name. I realized then that my mother wasn't just a thief. She was a criminal. And if I turned this ledger over to the board of the hospital, she wouldn't be moving into Brianna's guest room. She'd be moving into a cell. I stood there in the dust-filled attic, holding her life in my hands. I thought about the cold nights in my car. I thought about the way they laughed at me while I was losing my future. I walked back downstairs. My mother was packing a box, sobbing quietly. Brianna was on her phone, likely trying to find a way to get out of her new mortgage. Change of plans, I said. They both froze. You're gonna pay back every cent of that $45,000. By Friday. I don't have it, she wailed. Then you better tell Brianna to sell her dream home, I said. Because if that money isn't in my account by noon on Friday, I'm taking this ledger to the authorities. I held up the book. The look of pure, unadulterated terror on my mother's face was the most satisfying thing I'd ever seen. What happened next shocked everyone. Friday came. The money appeared in my account at 11:58 a.m. Brianna lost her house. My mother lost her pride. And I didn't just go to the University of Chicago. I sold the family home, bought a small, beautiful condo in the city, and donated the rest of the embezzled funds to the hospital, just like Grandpa wanted. As I drove away from that house for the last time, I saw them standing on the sidewalk with their suitcases. They looked small. They looked broken. I didn't feel a single ounce of guilt, because I learned a very valuable lesson in the back seat of that hatchback. Family isn't about blood. It's about who stands by you when the lights go out, and that's when everything changed. I realized I didn't need their approval to be successful. I just needed the courage to take back what was mine. Powerful final ending line, they tried to build their palace on the ruins of my future, but they forgot that I was the one who held the deed to the land. Betrayal by a parent is a wound that never truly heals, but justice is a powerful medicine. Have you ever had a family member try to steal your future? Tell me your story in the comments. And if you want to see more stories of people taking their lives back, hit that subscribe button. You never know what secrets are hiding in your own attic.